Well, Sagittarius, what a lovely combination of Mars and Jupiter in your 10th house of professional activity, development of ego, one of the pillars of the horoscope, endowed with great strength right now. And if I can just refer back to my introduction video today, which is all about self-empowerment, what a wonderful form of self-empowerment you have right now with your fifth ruler, Mars, conjoining your ruling planet Jupiter in that 10th house. So a lot of activity here in your 10th house and also your 11th house, which I want to talk about. Because right now, the 11th house, which is the fulfiller of life dreams, our social activities and profits from business, are all also powerfully activated with the Sun, the retrograde Mercury, which is a little bit of a problem up until the 10th, when it goes forward again, but not too much of a difficulty juxtaposed against all of these other very positive things. And the North Node, all there in the 11th house. I've just had an intuition about that may relate more to your friendships, miscommunications, but all of that is about to get back on track when Mercury goes forward on the 10th. And there's a new moon also in that area on the 13th. So possibly you're the sort of person that lets things slide. That you're generally fairly upbeat and easygoing according to the traditional meanings of the sun sign of Sagittarius. But lately you may have felt a little bit constricted there, and actually you're going to be a little more serious over this period, because it's another aspect I want to come to in a moment. But it could be now that you have you've decided to tighten things up a little and not take a whole lot of BS from people. You've let things slide, but there comes a point where you think, hang on, let me evaluate this. How is this actually helping me with these people? So, you need to change things. And when that new moon happens on the 13th, it is likely to bring with it a shake-up in your social circles. The other big thing I was just about to say is this transit of Saturn. Now, this is a bit of a tough one, and you may already be feeling the seriousness of it. Saturn in your sun sign, and it will be there for the next 2.5 years. It is a 2 to 2.5 year transit, moving through each sign of the zodiac, the full zodiac, around 29.5 to 30 years. So this, whilst giving you the opportunities and the self-empowerment of Mars and Jupiter, and then later in the month when Venus moves into this same area on the 9th of October, it opens up those opportunities, but Saturn is very responsible and restrictive in that area. So there may come with the empowerment, the expansion of your business and also the social circles, the sacrifice that is necessary to enjoy these things fully. So you may actually find yourself the recipient of some better professional situation, a promotion, increased income, but with that comes the responsibility. And this is early days because, as I said, it's a 2.5 year cycle stage. So you may have to just bed down for this one. It's a bit of a long haul. It's one of the slower cycles, not like the really outer planets, but in terms of personal effects, out to Saturn, we can see that this one here is the slowest moving one. Jupiter in this upper part of your horoscope for 1 year will give you the benefits. So this is going to last at least 12 months, but then you need to have a buffer at that time, is what I'm saying. And I know I'm jumping ahead, but I want to keep on this theme of self-empowerment and give you a keen insight and understanding as to how, even if we personally choose to empower ourselves, that there are factors outside ourselves that we need to be prepared for. You are dynamic this month. We see there the 12th, the Jupiter trine Pluto aspect. Wow, this again is related to your finance and your income. So this is dominating a lot of your activities now. So money is really an important thing. And just as I said, you're changing the nature of your relationships with friends and people. You're also changing the nature of the relationship you have with money and with possessions and you know, your earnings and that sort of thing. So hopefully with this Saturn transit, you're going to find yourself with a much more level head and more capable of making decisions based upon the sort of people you have in your circle, eliminating those that are not of any use anymore and who are using you. The transit of the Sun on the 23rd of October will bring with it a distinctly softer and more low-key energy. This could be an energy that brings you into privacy mode. You don't want to be with people, and this is important to balance a lot of these other cycles of life. We're too busy with too many people. Here you have the opportunity to just step off the merry-go-round for a while and enjoy your own company. Again, another form of self-empowerment. And I spoke in the introduction that by spending time alone, becoming self-aware, you can start to discover those aspects of yourself that are holding you back. And hopefully that awareness itself, simply observing these facets of your personality, will allow them to naturally drop away and to disappear. You don't have to grapple with a lot of this stuff. Believe it or not, that pure level of self-awareness is enough to get that process of self-empowerment going. And we are going to talk more about this. There are exercises you can do. And even though I am a firm believer that we are limited in choice, in volition and free will, that there are some things we can do to expedite the natural emergence of the empowerment of our beings and our lives and our relationships. So stay tuned for that. There's a full moon on the 27th. That's a powerful full moon in Taurus in your sixth house of work affairs. Here we see you becoming a lot more practical in the way you've been doing things. And there'll be some systems that you may start to implement, especially in the way you relate to your co-workers. This also has to do with your health itself. So this could shine a light on those areas of your life which are undermining your health and your well-being. And I think that's a very good thing. Once again, removing those elements that are adverse for your health can only, in the long term, empower you to feel better, to do better. Finally, there are a few aspects at the end of the month. We've mentioned the transit of the Sun to the quiet 12th house of the horoscope. Lucky opportunities there in your 10th house. Something may happen in the few days leading up to the 26th when Venus conjoins Jupiter. Exceptionally powerful transit there. There may be some little issue there, some debts that may be incurred on account of your work, because the sixth house, which is the debt sector of your horoscope, is ruled by that Venus. Nevertheless, if you want my advice, I would be spending what I need to spend to create new opportunities in my work at that time. If you're running an independent business, the old saying goes, if you want to make money, you've got to spend it. Opposition of Mercury to Uranus means some quirky sort of communications with friends on or about the 26th, but the final aspect of the Sun to Neptune, which is a favourable aspect on the 31st, is quite nice and completes the month on a spiritual note for you. Meditation, yoga, retreat, natural sort of surroundings are the name of the game at that time. Glad you could join me today. Hope you'll be here again for another dose of self-empowerment with Dadhichi. In the meantime, you can visit my website, astrology.com.au. Loads and loads of free resources there. If you want a personal reading with me or some of my associates, if you desire a more detailed analysis. But until next month, have a good one. Bye-bye now.